Valentine raised her head, struck dumb with astonishment. It was not so much the conviction that she was disinherited that caused her grief, but her total inability to account for the feelings which had provoked her grandfather to such an act. But Noirtier looked at her with so much affectionate tenderness that she exclaimed, "Oh, grandpapa, I see now that it is only your fortune of which you deprive me, you still leave me the love which I have always enjoyed." "Ah, yes, most assuredly," said the eyes of the paralytic, for he closed them with an expression which Valentine could not mistake. Thank you," murmured she. The old man's declaration that Valentine was not the destined inheritor of his fortune had excited the hopes of Madame de Villefort. She gradually approached the invalid, and said, "Then, doubtless, dear M. Noirtier, you intend leaving your fortune to your grandson, Edward de Villefort?" The winking of the eyes which answered this speech was most decided and terrible, and expressed a feeling almost amounting to hatred. "No?" said the notary, "then, perhaps, it is to your son, M. de Villefort?" "No." The two notaries looked at each other in mute astonishment and inquiry as to what were the real intentions of the testator. Villefort and his wife both grew red, one from shame, the other from anger. "What have we all done, then, dear grandpapa?" said Valentine. "You no longer seem to love any of us?" The old man's eyes passed rapidly from Villefort and his wife, and rested on Valentine with a look of unutterable fondness. "Well," said she, "if you love me, grandpapa, try and bring that love to bear upon your actions at this present moment." "You know me well enough to be quite sure that I have never thought of your fortune. Besides, they say I am already rich in right of my mother, too rich, even." "Explain yourself, then." Noirtier fixed his intelligent eyes on Valentine's hand. "My hand?" said she. "Yes. Her hand," exclaimed every one. "Oh, gentlemen, you see it is all useless, and that my father's mind is really impaired," said Villefort. "Ah," cried Valentine suddenly, "I understand. It is my marriage you mean, is it not, dear grandpapa?" Yes, 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 signed the paralytic, casting on Valentine a look of joyful gratitude for having guessed his meaning. You are angry with us all on account of this marriage, are you not? Yes. Really, this is too absurd, said Villefort. Excuse me, sir, replied the notary, on the contrary, the meaning of M. Noirtier is quite evident to me, and I can quite easily connect the train of ideas passing in his mind. You do not wish me to marry M. Franz d'Épinay? Observed Valentine. I do not wish it, said the eye of her grandfather. And you disinherit your granddaughter, continued the notary, because she has contracted an engagement contrary to your wishes? Yes. So that, but for this marriage, she would have been your heir? Yes. There was a profound silence. The two notaries were holding a consultation as to the best means of proceeding with the affair. Valentine was looking at her grandfather with a smile of intense gratitude, and Villefort was biting his lips with vexation, while Madame de Villefort could not succeed in repressing an inward feeling of joy, which, in spite of herself, appeared in her whole countenance. But, said Villefort, who was the first to break the silence, I consider that I am the best judge of the propriety of the marriage in question. I am the only person possessing the right to dispose of my daughter's hand. It is my wish that she should marry M. Franz d'Épinay, and she shall marry him. Valentine sank weeping into a chair. Sir, said the notary, how do you intend disposing of your fortune in case Mademoiselle de Villefort still determines on marrying M. Franz? The old man gave no answer. You will, of course, dispose of it in some way or other? Yes. In favor of some member of your family? No. Do you intend devoting it to charitable purposes, then? Pursued the notary. Yes. But, said the notary, you are aware that the law does not allow a son to be entirely deprived of his patrimony? Yes. You only intend, then, to dispose of that part of your fortune which the law allows you to subtract from the inheritance of your son? Noirtier made no answer. Do you still wish to dispose of all? Yes. But they will contest the will after your death? No. My father knows me, replied Villefort. He is quite sure that his wishes will be held sacred by me. Besides, he understands that in my position I cannot plead against the poor. The eye of Noirtier beamed with triumph. What do you decide on, sir? Asked the notary of Villefort. Nothing, sir. It is a resolution which my father has taken, and I know he never alters his mind. I am quite resigned. These 900,000 francs will go out of the family in order to enrich some hospital, but it is ridiculous thus to yield to the caprices of an old man, and I shall, therefore, act according to my conscience.